A woman can hide her emotions with grace. She'll laugh at your jokes, smile in your presence, maybe even act like nothing ever happened. But don't be fooled by the surface. Stoicism reminds us that appearances often conceal deeper truths. Her silence isn't peace, it's protection. She may look composed, even indifferent, but inside, she's replaying memories. She's questioning her worth. She's wondering if you ever really cared. And the more she suppresses what she feels, the louder it gets in her mind. In today's video, we're going deeper. We'll break down what it really means when she hides her feelings, why she does it, and how your distance might be impacting her more than you realize. This isn't about blaming or chasing. This is about understanding, about seeing through the mask and recognizing the storm behind her calm. Let's begin. Number 1. The silent storm behind her smile. She looks like she has it all together. The way she walks, confident, graceful, as if nothing could shake her. Her smile? Bright, charming, full of life. Her voice is steady, calm, collected, like someone in complete control of her world. And to most people, that's all they see. A woman who seems unbothered, thriving, untouched by the storms life throws at her. But that's the thing about appearances. They're often armor. Behind her calm exterior is a storm she's been quietly battling. The kind of storm that doesn't announce itself with thunder, but one that simmers beneath the surface. Constant, exhausting, unrelenting. You wouldn't know it from the way she laughs, the way she keeps conversations light and playful, the way she makes you feel like everything is fine. But when the world goes quiet, when it's just her and the silence, that's when it all comes crashing in. That's when the smile fades, the tension in her chest returns, and the thoughts she's been running from catch up to her. That's when the mask slips. She's not pretending because she wants to deceive. She's pretending because she has to. Or at least that's what she's convinced herself. Because letting people in feels dangerous. Vulnerability, to her, is a battlefield. She's scared of being seen and not understood. Scared that opening up will invite judgment, not compassion. Scared that if she lets her guard down, even for a moment, everything she's worked so hard to keep together will come undone. That's why, as a man, especially as a Stoic man, you have a different role to play. You can't afford to just listen to her words and take them at face value. You have to pay attention to her energy, the little things, the pause before she answers a deep question, the way her eyes shift when you hit a nerve she wasn't ready to expose, the way she smiles at something that should have hurt her, like she's trying to convince both you and herself that it didn't. You don't need to analyze her or fix her. That's not what she needs. A Stoic doesn't rush in with answers. He doesn't try to silence her pain with logic or dismiss her emotions with rationality. He observes, quietly, carefully, respectfully. He becomes the calm in her chaos, not shaken by her waves, but fully present in them. And sometimes that's all she's ever needed. Not someone to fix her, not someone to question her strength, but someone who can hold her hand without pulling her apart. Someone who offers stillness, not solutions. A man who's mastered his own peace, and in doing so, becomes a safe place for hers to unfold. Remember this, brother. Her silence isn't a void. It's not emptiness. It's emotion, raw, overflowing, and locked behind the fear of being too much. If you can look past the act, if you can see her in those quiet moments, you'll connect with her in a way most men never will. Not because you tried harder, but because you understood deeper. That's the power of presence. That's the discipline of the Stoic. And that's how you protect her peace, by mastering yours first. Number 2, when words are too heavy to speak. Not all emotions make it into language. Sometimes she doesn't know how to explain what's wrong, or why she's feeling off. It's not always some dramatic event. It could be a buildup of small things: stress, unspoken fears, memories she hasn't dealt with, or even a feeling she can't name. So she stays quiet, not because she doesn't want you to care, but because she does. She hopes you'll notice the little shifts, the way she gets quiet after a certain topic, the way she says, "I'm fine," but can't hold your gaze, the way her usual laughter fades into something more hollow. And here's where you make the difference. Because this is where Stoicism gives you a true superpower: the ability to hold steady when she can't, to resist the urge to demand answers, to fix, or to label what she's going through. Instead, you become present, fully, not as someone who needs to do something, but as someone who can be something. Still, calm, steady, unmoved. That kind of presence, it's rare. And in a world that constantly pulls her in different directions, your grounded energy becomes a safe place. A place where she doesn't feel rushed, doesn't feel judged. A place where she can just exist without needing to explain herself. Most people react to emotion. They talk over it. They try to fix it. But a Stoic man listens to what's beneath the emotion. He understands that not everything needs a response. Sometimes it just needs patience. You don't pull her out of her silence. You sit with her in it. And that's powerful. Because eventually, when she does open up, and she will, she'll remember how you made her feel safe, not exposed. Understood, not analyzed. That's how you connect on a level most men never reach. That's how you become more than just another guy in her life. You become her peace. So next time she seems off but can't explain it, don't push. Don't take it personally. Don't pull away. Just be still enough to feel what she can't say. Because your calm presence might be the one thing holding her together. If this perspective resonates with you, or if you've experienced the power of just being present for someone, I'd love to hear from you. Please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, or simply type "Presence is powerful" to let us know how this message has impacted you. Your engagement truly helps in spreading these profound lessons, and perhaps make someone else's journey a little lighter. Number 3. Emotional armor. Her quiet defense. She's not cold, she's cautious. There's a subtle but powerful difference. What you're seeing isn't rejection, it's protection. Not of her pride or ego, but of her heart. She's not trying to push you away. She's trying to protect the parts of herself that have been hurt, overlooked, or misunderstood too many times before. What feels like distance is really defense. Defense against a world that's shown her how vulnerable love can make you. You have to understand something. Those emotional walls you're sensing, they didn't appear overnight. They weren't built in a moment of anger or resentment. They were assembled slowly, painfully, brick by brick. Each one laid down after a broken promise, a betrayal of trust, or the quiet, aching feeling of being emotionally alone, even while physically close to someone. She didn't build them to shut people out. She built them to contain her own pain, to function, to survive. And if you rush in, trying to tear those walls down with urgency or force, hoping to prove your worth through pressure, she won't respond with openness. She'll retreat even further. Not because she doesn't feel something for you, but because your force confirms her fear. That letting someone in means losing control again. That vulnerability still equals danger. A Stoic doesn't demand trust. He inspires it. He doesn't pry into places she's not ready to share. He doesn't try to fix her. He doesn't need dramatic declarations or sweeping romantic gestures. Instead, he becomes the calm in her storm, the solid, steady presence she never knew she needed. He listens without judgment. He gives without expectation. He shows up, not once, but consistently, quietly, dependably, without needing applause. He doesn't take her silence personally. He doesn't react emotionally when she distances herself. Why? Because he understands deeply that people need space to feel safe. That healing happens in the presence of patience, not pressure. That if her heart is a fortress, it is not something to conquer. It is something to be invited into, gently, respectfully, and only on her terms. That is the beauty of Stoicism in love. You learn to hold space. You learn to care without clinging, to love without losing yourself, and to be there, truly be there, without needing anything in return. You become her peace, not her project. You offer stillness in a world that often demands more from her than she has left to give. And slowly, so slowly you might not notice at first, her walls begin to lower. Not because you forced them down, but because you've given her something she rarely finds: emotional safety. She starts to breathe differently around you, speak more freely, laugh more fully. And little by little she gives you parts of herself she's never shown anyone else. Not because she had to, but because with you, she finally wants to. So if she seems distant right now, don't panic. Don't chase. Don't try to solve her. Just stand firm. Be still. Be safe. And most importantly, be patient. Because when a woman finally feels safe, emotionally, spiritually, soulfully, that's when she stops surviving and starts loving, fully, fiercely, freely. And that, my friend, isn't just connection. That's transformation. That's where real love begins. Number 4. Subtle signals, loud cries. She won't always say, "I'm hurting." In fact, most of the time, she won't say anything at all. Not because she's hiding it from you, but because she's not sure how to put it into words. Maybe she's never been taught how. Maybe life conditioned her to swallow her pain with a smile. Maybe she's afraid that if she lets it out, you'll look at her differently. Not as strong, not as composed, not as the woman you once admired. So instead of saying it out loud, it leaks out in quiet ways. Through her silence, through a shift in her tone, in the way her texts get shorter, colder, in the way she pauses before responding, in how her eyes dodge yours for just a moment too long, in how her laughter still shows up, but feels a little thinner, a little more distant, like it's reaching for something it can't quite grasp. You start to feel her pulling back, but there's no fight, no argument, just space, emptiness where connection used to be. This is the point where most men miss it. They take her words at face value. She says, "I'm fine," and they nod, relieved. They don't look closer. They don't listen deeper. But a Stoic man, he does. He doesn't need dramatic displays to know something's wrong. He reads between the lines. He watches with patience, not pressure. He notices what isn't being said and holds space for it. Not with judgment, not with urgency, but with quiet strength. He doesn't try to fix her like a broken project. He doesn't bombard her with questions or push her to spill her soul. He knows that trust doesn't grow under force. It unfolds slowly, in safe, steady moments. In the comfort of knowing you're not being analyzed, just accepted. He's not trying to prove his value by rescuing her. He proves it by being the calm in her chaos. The rock when everything else feels like it's shifting. He becomes the man who doesn't flinch in the presence of emotion, even the heavy, uncomfortable ones. He doesn't back away. He sits with it, with her, until she feels safe enough to exhale. That's the quiet power of a Stoic man. He doesn't chase her emotions. He honors them. He doesn't demand her vulnerability. He creates the space where she can choose to share it, willingly, freely, without fear of being misunderstood. And when she sees that you see her, truly, deeply, without trying to fix or change her, that's when her guard drops. That's when she leans in. That's when she lets you all the way in. Not because you asked, but because your presence earned it. Reflect on how you can apply these principles in your own relationships. Have you ever noticed a change in someone's behavior and adjusted your approach accordingly? How has being present rather than proactive changed the dynamics of your relationship? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights not only enrich our discussion, but also help others see the value in embracing stillness and sensitivity in their interactions. Number 5. Why she pulls away. She might feel something real for you, something deep, powerful, even rare, and still, she might back off. Not because the feeling isn't there, but because the feeling is too much. And when that happens, it can leave you spinning. You start going over every moment, every conversation, every little shift in tone. You wonder if you said the wrong thing, or if she suddenly lost interest. But often, it's not about you. It's about fear. Fear of losing herself in the process. Fear of opening up only to get hurt again. Fear of being vulnerable in a world that hasn't been kind to her emotions. You see, even when her heart is quietly pulling her toward you, her mind is scanning for exit signs. It's trying to protect her from reliving old pain. To you, the connection feels right, maybe even effortless. But to her, that same connection might feel like a risk. Because for someone who's had to pick up the pieces too many times, closeness can feel dangerous. So she retreats. Not because she doesn't care, but because she does. And because caring raises the stakes. She's not just protecting herself from heartbreak. She's protecting herself from disappearing into someone again, from giving too much and being left with nothing. That's a battle she's already fought. And now, her defenses show up disguised as distance. And here's where your path as a Stoic begins. Don't chase. Don't try to decode her silence or beg her to talk. Don't rush in to fix it or convince her of what you already feel in your bones. Be like the Stoic oak tree, rooted, steady, and unshaken. The wind can howl and the seasons can shift, but the tree stands tall through it all. It doesn't reach out or try to hold on to the breeze. It simply is. That's your power, your stillness. Because what she needs isn't another surge of emotion pulling her in every direction. She doesn't need to be overwhelmed. She needs to feel something solid, something calm, something safe. And safety, real emotional safety, is rare for someone who's always been in survival mode. So when you don't react out of panic, when you don't try to control the outcome or fall apart in the waiting, you show her something she's probably never seen before. That love can be peaceful. That connection doesn't have to come with chaos. That maybe, just maybe, there's a kind of strength that doesn't shout. It simply stays. And that stillness, that unshakable presence, that's what makes her feel safe. So don't mistake her pulling back for rejection. Sometimes, love just needs space to stretch its wings. Let her take that space without guilt. Let her process. Let her breathe. Because if the connection is real and her heart still holds a place for you, she will come back. And when she does, she'll remember that you were the one who stayed grounded, while everything else felt uncertain. Number 6. The battle between head and heart. She feels one thing, but her mind says another. Her heart is quietly reaching for you, not loudly, but deeply. There's a pull she can't ignore. A part of her wants to let go of her fears, to trust you, to lean into what feels genuine between you. She wants to exhale and feel safe, to stop questioning and just feel. But her mind, it's a battlefield. It reminds her of the times she opened up too soon, gave too much, believed too deeply. It brings back the echo of words that sounded sweet but carried no weight, the promises that faded, the smiles that eventually turned cold. Her mind replays the past like a warning, not because she wants to doubt you, but because it's learned to be careful, to protect her peace, and most of all, to protect her heart. Now she's caught in a silent war within herself. Emotion is pulling her closer. The connection feels real and it's tempting. But logic, shaped by wounds and disappointment, pulls her back. It reminds her that trust, once shattered, never returns quite the same. So she hesitates, not because she's unsure about what she feels, but because what she feels is strong. And that kind of vulnerability terrifies her. This back and forth, it drains her. And if you don't understand it, it might confuse you too. She's not playing games. This isn't manipulation. She's not trying to frustrate you or test you. She's trying to survive emotionally. She's trying to protect herself from falling into something she can't afford to break her. So she overthinks. She retreats. She sends mixed signals. She may even push you away. Not because she doesn't want to be close, but because closeness means risk. And this is where your role as a man matters more than ever. See, your job is not to fight the battle happening in her mind. You're not there to convince her to drop her guard or argue her out of her fears. You're not there to rush the process or expect instant trust. This is where true strength shows up. The strength of a Stoic man. A man who doesn't chase because he's grounded in his own worth. A man who doesn't pressure because he respects her pace. A man who doesn't panic because he's mastered himself first. And over time, when she sees that your presence doesn't waver, when she feels that your peace can hold her chaos, her heart will begin to trust you. Because in a world full of men who demand, chase, and pressure, being the one who stands tall without force, that's power. That's rare. That's Stoic. Number 7. Her past wounds, your present challenge. She's carrying old scars. Not all of them are visible, but they're there, etched into her heart from past loves that ended in betrayal, from promises that were broken, from moments where she gave her all. And it still wasn't enough. Even if you've done nothing wrong, she might still pull away when things get too close. Not because she doesn't care, but because closeness reminds her of how things once fell apart. She flinches, not at you, but at the memory of what closeness has cost her before. And this is where many men get it wrong. They take it personally. They get frustrated. They start asking, why can't she just trust me? But a Stoic man, he doesn't go down that path. He understands that everyone's healing from something. And healing doesn't follow a schedule. It's not linear. It comes in waves, sometimes gentle, sometimes intense. Some days she'll lean in, other days she'll pull away. Not to test you, but because she's protecting herself from feeling too much, too fast. So what does the Stoic man do? He stays patient. He doesn't chase validation or force vulnerability. He offers consistency, not just in words, but in actions. He doesn't demand trust. He builds it, one calm moment at a time, one silent understanding at a time, one reminder through his stillness that he's not going anywhere. And over time, something powerful happens. She begins to relax in his presence, not because he convinced her to, but because his patience became proof that he's not like the ones who hurt her. That's the quiet strength of a Stoic man. He doesn't need instant access to her heart. He's willing to earn it, slowly, deeply, and with honor. Because he knows real connection isn't rushed. It's built in the stillness, in the presence, in the unshakable peace he brings into her life. Number 8. Mixed signals, clear pain. One day she's warm, the next, distant. She leans in with affection, vulnerability, even a little hope. And then suddenly, she's pulling away. You get a text that makes you feel close, then silence that makes you question everything. It's confusing, no doubt. It can feel like mixed signals or even emotional games. But here's the truth most don't realize. It's usually not a game. It's emotional conflict. Inside her, there's a battle going on. One part wants to be close, to trust, to feel safe in your presence. Another part, shaped by past pain or fear of losing herself, screams for her to back off. She's not trying to manipulate you. She's trying to protect herself from heartbreak, from disappointment, from repeating old mistakes. Now, if you don't understand this, it's easy to chase, to react emotionally, to demand clarity. But a Stoic man doesn't move like that. He doesn't chase inconsistency. He observes it. He watches patterns, not just moments. He doesn't try to force stability where it doesn't naturally exist. He holds his center, grounded in who he is, not in how she behaves. Because the Stoic man knows something powerful. If she's truly meant for your path, she'll return, not out of pressure, but from peace. And if she doesn't, you still remain whole. That's the mindset of a man who's done the inner work. A man who understands that his worth isn't tied to someone else's confusion. That love, to be real, must be chosen freely, not chased desperately. So when her warmth turns cold, you don't flinch. You stay calm. You observe. You honor your peace. Because whether she stays or fades, you've already won. You chose dignity over desperation, stillness over chasing. And that kind of strength, that's what makes you truly unforgettable. Number 9. Why she pretends not to care. She acts unbothered, as if nothing's wrong, as if your absence doesn't shake her, doesn't even touch her. She posts, she smiles, she keeps herself busy, and from the outside, it looks like you never even crossed her mind. But inside, she's hoping you'll notice. She's hoping you'll see through the silence, that you'll feel the space between the lines, and understand that the distance isn't indifference, it's defense. She's testing something, not out of manipulation, but out of fear. She wants to know, will you chase? Will you panic? Will you lose yourself trying to win her back? Because that tells her more than any sweet words ever could. And this is where most men stumble. They react. They send a storm of messages. They try to fix, explain, impress, anything to feel seen again. And in doing so, they give away their power. But you do something different. You hold your frame. You don't let her silence unbalance your spirit. You don't let uncertainty pull you out of your center. You let your actions, not your panic, speak for you. You stay grounded, composed, not cold, but calm. Not chasing, but observing. Because you understand what real Stoic power is. It's not apathy, it's self-control. It's not withdrawal, it's wisdom. It's knowing that if the connection is real, it doesn't need to be forced. So while she's acting unbothered on the outside, but secretly hoping you'll feel her pull, you remain still. letting time reveal what emotion tries to hide. And in the end, whether she returns or not, one thing becomes clear. You didn't lose her. You kept yourself. And that is the essence of true masculine strength. Number 10. When her silence is a cry for you. Sometimes her silence isn't distance. It's desperation. Not the kind that screams or demands attention, but the quiet kind. The kind that hopes you'll feel what she can't bring herself to say. She withdraws, hoping you'll notice the shift, wondering if you'll sense the weight she's carrying behind the smile, if you'll check in, not out of obligation, but out of genuine presence. Deep down, she wants to know something simple but powerful. Can you feel me, even when I'm silent? Will you stay composed when I can't? And this is the moment where many men fail the test. They either chase in panic or they disappear in pride. They try to fix what hasn't even been spoken. Or worse, they make it about themselves. But a man rooted in Stoicism moves differently. He doesn't rush to fill the silence out of fear. He doesn't beg for emotional validation. He doesn't spiral because her energy shifted. Instead, he responds, not reacts, with clarity. He stays rooted, firm in his presence, calm in his delivery, because he understands that silence doesn't always mean disinterest. Sometimes it's a quiet cry for connection, a test of depth. And it's not passed through performance, but through peace. So he reaches out, not with pressure, but with calm presence. He holds space, not with demands, but with understanding. He shows her, you don't have to speak loudly to be heard by me. That's Stoic strength. It doesn't need chaos to feel connected. It doesn't crumble under emotional tension. It listens beyond the words. And it answers from a place of grounded power, not insecurity. Because in that stillness, he shows her something rare. That real masculinity doesn't panic under pressure. It remains unshaken and deeply attuned. As we wrap up today's exploration of the silent struggles a woman may face when hiding her feelings, it's clear that these emotions aren't just fleeting shadows. They are deeply felt experiences that can consume her if left unaddressed. Stoicism teaches us the value of understanding beyond the surface, recognizing that behind every composed exterior, there may lie a tumult of emotions waiting to be acknowledged. This isn't just about observing, it's about connecting on a deeper level, providing a presence that's both calming and perceptive. Understanding her isn't about solving her like a puzzle. It's about standing with her in the midst of her storm, showing that her feelings, though hidden, are valid and heard. It's about being the steady presence that offers comfort without pushing for revelations. As we discussed today, your role is not to pry or pressure, but to provide a safe space where she can express herself when she's ready. If you found value in today's discussion, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment below. Share your thoughts or experiences related to this topic. How do you approach situations where someone you care about is hiding their feelings? Your insights not only enrich our community, but also help others feel less alone in their experiences. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel for more insights into the complexities of relationships through the lens of Stoicism. Don't miss our recommended videos appearing on the screen now for more content that can help you navigate the emotional landscapes of life and relationships. Thank you for watching. And remember, in the quiet moments of reflection, we often find the strength to connect more profoundly.